Painter, sculptor, engineer, mathematician, musician, philosopher, architect, and astronomer. If Leonardo da Vinci had a LinkedIn profile, that would have been his headline. Until the 18th century, this was the gold standard of success. A Renaissance man. Polymaths like Da Vinci were jacks of all trades and masters of some. They were the ones who pushed the limits of human potential and unleashed a booming era of innovation and creativity. But after the onset of the Industrial Revolution, our world saw rapid advancements in technology and knowledge, which drove our society towards a world of specialization. Success began to look like someone who had reached the pinnacle of a narrowly focused career. On the other hand, someone who has distributed their time and efforts across various disciplines is seen as somewhat lacking focus or direction. So who would ever want to end up like that? As a kid, I thrived on exploring a wide variety of hobbies, from performing arts and sports to learning languages completely foreign to me. These activities weren't just pastimes. They were gateways to unique skills, fresh perspectives, and a relentless motivation to learn beyond the classroom. I was lucky my parents kept up with my ever-changing interests and reluctantly supported me when I switched from one thing to another. However, society was not as kind. Society frowns upon those of us who have what some may call a multi-passionate personality. Our schools are not designed to nurture the abilities of kids with a plethora of interests and 5 different career plans in mind. Sure, having 1 or 2 hobbies is acceptable, commendable even, but only if they benefit your college applications. Dare to embrace more, and you risk being labeled as utterly distracted or just plain indecisive. I remember in high school, I really wanted to study humanities, commerce, and the sciences altogether. But in my school's particular curriculum, that wasn't really allowed. Most students stuck to one stream of study. That was the norm. Well, I wanted to embrace my multiple academic interests. So I went to one of my teachers to ask her if they could make an exception for me. She was one of the nicer teachers, so I knew she'd respond well and support me. I went to her and asked her with great sincerity and hope, and asked, "Ma'am, can I please study these 3 streams together? I don't think I can choose between economics, physics, and history, even psychology. These are all my passions." I fully expected her to give me a very positive response. Something like, "Yes, Triya, yes you can, I support you." Instead of hyping me up, she just laughed. And in an effort to gently discourage me from persisting in this regard, she pulled out my report card and pointed at my very mediocre grades at the time. And she said, "Triya, if you're going to pursue a million things at once, you are never going to succeed." I did not expect her to say that. But is she wrong? Is she? In our world, if you're not a specialist early on, most employers won't even look at your application because what else could you possibly have to offer? So I can't reprimand her for that, right? You're expected to know what you want to do for the rest of your life by the ripe age of 15. And if you haven't figured it out by then, you're not expected to succeed. But how does that make any sense? Some of us may live to be 100, and yet society still expects us to pick and stick to a single path when we've barely experienced what else life has to offer. I strongly believe that only when we have seen and experienced the world to its fullest can we actually create the powerful ideas to change it. Lucky for 15-year-old me, I never listened to what the adults told me. So I persisted in pursuing my multiple passions and eventually became good at some. I even double majored in economics and astronomy at a liberal arts college. Today, I'm studying here at the Geneva Graduate Institute, pursuing an interdisciplinary master's degree with a focus on human rights and humanitarianism. Only in the past few years did I realize that us multi-passionates can make what society calls our weakness into our greatest strength. I have to give a special mention to David Epstein's book titled Range, which tells us that generalists do have what it takes to succeed in life. The world we've grown up in doesn't cater to people like us. But today, us multi-passionates and generalists have an even better chance at success than ever before. With AI taking over many specialized fields, I believe the need for a Renaissance man or Renaissance person is going to become ever more important. Our world needs thinkers like you, our TEDx audience, who are lifelong learners. It is time for us to embrace who we are and to capitalize on our individual strengths to become the modern Renaissance people we are meant to be. A modern Renaissance person. The modern Renaissance people. We will be the ones who build the bridges between different fields of knowledge. We will be the ones who bring back transdisciplinary curiosity back to our society. We will be the ones who make a new gold standard of success. Humanitarian, astronomer, economist, philosopher, and public speaker. That is the Renaissance person I strive to become. And now I ask you, who will you dare to be? Thank you.